Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 2 of Civilization 5. We're playing as France and we're going to try and get a cultural victory. We are playing on Emperor difficulty again in the hope that we can beat it legitimately this time. We've got some Barbarians there's quite a lot of them on this map actually. I don't think they're going to be able to do an awful lot of damage. More people asking me for embassy. Again, we're going to wait until we can get some mutual embassies. It just makes things a little bit easier in the long run. Nothing for those guys to pillage. We've discovered archery. Do we really want to attack those guys? Because if we do, we would be attacking across a river, which is problematic. But I don't want them to attack my workers. We can actually kill them. So let's just run across and finish them off if we can. I assume we can. Yeah, there's some barbarians finished there. So what are we going to do for our next technology? What would be useful for us to have? What have we got on the map that we need? Well, we're not really going to bother with the orange, well, no, I guess we should improve the citrus, because the citrus is a tradable luxury resource. Bananas aren't. So bananas, you don't really want to remove the jungle, because having the jungle there is probably more important. But there isn't an awful lot else that I need in a big hurry. So we're not going to. We will need sailing eventually, because we are going to start our second city, which will be quite close to the well, which will be coastal. Obviously, we are going to want to work up towards chivalry at some point. No point in getting trapping, although getting the camps could be useful. I think we'll go in for writing, just so we can get some libraries running as early as possible. I do want to try and concentrate on science. Let's go for legalism. That will give us free culture buildings in our cities, which is quite nice. We did bump into Russia down here. Oh, now this is interesting. They have a settler. Now, I could try and get that settler. Now, it won't be a settler if I manage to get it. Because if you capture somebody else's settler, it just becomes a worker. But a free worker. Saying that, though, there are also a lot of barbarians around. So it may not necessarily be the best idea trying to do that. Okay, so do we want to go and build a farm? Or do we want to go and work on the oranges? That requires calendar anyway, so I think we'll build the farm down here. I don't know why it's recommending this tile for the farm, although I suppose it's not the worst idea ever. Why are we growing so slowly? Are we working an incorrect tile somewhere? Not really. We are working all the better food tiles. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Let's go on to the next turn. Still have 3 happiness, so that's not too bad. We are going to have to start moving the spearmen down here, of course, because we do know that there are other barbarians around. I think we're just going to construct the food there for now. I mean, they're both grasslands river. It isn't going to make any real difference. Now, if we attack these guys, we would take a lot of damage. I could sort of just sit on a hill and let them sort of attack me, but I don't think they're going to do it, so we'll pass on that. I think even if I did manage to liberate the worker and try and get him home, he'd probably get captured again on the way back, and I don't really want to spare my scout to escort one worker all the way back home. I've only got a single city at the moment anyway, so there's not an awful lot of point in having multiple workers. Well, we did bump into a Russian scout down here. Russia certainly isn't down in this corner of the map. Our spearmen will actually just take you down and do a bit of exploration in this direction, because I want to see what's on the coast down here before I definitively decide where I'm going to put that second city. And I'm glad I did, because we've just gone and found ourselves another ruin, which we should be able to get. Let's go up here just so we can uncover the coastline. We're going to have to start working our way back down here. I wonder whose settler that was then. Obviously, somebody had a settler all the way down here. I wonder if there's somebody down here in the clouds that we haven't spotted yet. Because that's an awfully long way out for a settler if there isn't anybody down in this corner of the map. Yeah, we can see they've got some archers now, so we are going to have to give them a very wide berth. We have completed our shrine. We could go for the Temple of Artemis, you know. The AI, I mean, it takes a long time to build, but the AI doesn't seem to go for it all that often. I did say I wanted to get to size 3 before, size 4 before I built my next settler, which I still kind of do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to invest a few turns into an archer, and then once we hit size 4, then we'll go ahead and switch over to a settler. And just make sure we can settle somewhere before the AI nicks all the good spots. Yeah, I fully expected that we were going to take a round of arrows from those guys. Not to worry, we are going to advance in the opposite direction. Ah, look, we have some more brutes. Well, I definitely want to grab that. And it's given us 20 faith. I need to go back and kill those guys. I'm not sure where they come from. They could have come from this camp, but that's an awfully long way to travel. My workers aren't in danger on this turn because they can't reach them. On the next turn, they potentially are. So we may have to retreat the workers into the city. But no, these guys are actually coming across to say hi. We can found a pantheon. Now, this is actually quite important here because do I want to actually go and settle down here? Let's just have a quick look. There doesn't appear to be anything down here, so I think this would be a good place to settle. With that in mind, it might be worth getting Desert Folklore and getting +1 faith from desert tiles. Because that would make a lot of those really crappy, useless desert tiles not all that bad. And let's not forget as well, oranges are citrus is a luxury resource, which means we could potentially put chateaus on some of these desert tiles as well, which would make them quite useful. So I definitely think we're going to go for Desert Folklore. And I think that will work out okay for us. Unit needs orders. You're going to head back because you are going to have to attack these guys at some point. You've taken a bit of damage, but I'd prefer to get you as far away from the barbarians as possible. Obviously, there is a barbarian camp over here as well. Would like to head south a little bit into these clouds. We may do that. We've taken a bit of damage, but it's not a massive amount. I'd still love to know who that settler belonged to, though we'll never find out unless we actually free it up, and that's not going to happen. That's a bit problematic now, getting a few extra brutes around. A little lake there, some more jungle. I think what we're going to do here is just fortify, and these guys can just sort of bounce off our swords a little bit. You guys have finished the farm, have you not? Looks like you have, so what are we going to get you to go and do next? Well, we don't have calendar yet. We don't have masonry yet. We could go ahead and build another farm. It's a little bit dangerous coming down in this direction, though. Or do I want to go and build as a mine so we have a little bit more production? I think at this point I'd actually prefer the farm. It's actually recommending that we build a mine on the silver. Did we not do that? Did we not even finish the mine? Apparently we didn't. So let's go ahead and finish the mine on the silver. I honestly thought we'd finished that. It was very strange. Yeah, these guys are attacking from a hill, but they're attacking across the river, so they're going to take a penalty for that. They took a fair bit more damage than we did. So, took quite a beating there. Now, I really don't want to waste this on insta-heal. But they could potentially do quite a bit of damage to me if I don't try and get somewhere to safety. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take... drill. And we're going to move in this direction so we've moved out of the marsh. These guys won't be able to reach us, or shouldn't be able to. I'm hoping these guys can't kill us off. We're just going to try and run away for a little bit, if possible. We've run into some of Japan's units down here as well. May well end up losing this spearman. I'd prefer not to, but I didn't realise there was a second group of barbarians around. But again, the fact that they're attacking across the river's probably going to save us there. Looks like that's that same barbarian camp attacking the Japanese. I wonder then if that was their settler, because they do seem to be sending a fair few units to try and free it up. There's Japan's capital, so at least we know where Japan is. I think it's time to start moving our scout up towards the north end. We need to choose a research. Let's also have a look what's going on down here, because I don't want this guy to die, and he is moving in, which is going to be very tricky. So let's just start running away where we can. We have reached size 4. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to let that archer finish, because he's only 2 turns away, and with the amount of barbarians we're getting around, we need to deal with that. So you guys need to go ahead and finish that mine. And we need, at some point, to get either calendar or masonry. Well, preferably both at some point. So, what do we want to get first? Probably calendar, so we can get the plantation. Although getting the stone would be good for the production. We will need the production at some point. Let's go into masonry first. I think we're okay on the food for now. Let's go on to the next turn. Here we go. Now we can actually have mutual embassies. That's fine. I'm really hoping that we survive. Oh dear, we've got archers coming from the other side. So no, we're going to lose those guys there. That will kill them off. That is a real shame. I didn't realise that they got any archers there. That is a bit of a pain in the neck. We're only one turn away from our archer actually completing. So I'm not going to go ahead and buy a unit at this point. I may have to do that at some point in the future though. Because that is a little bit of a pain. And we've met Morocco. Who's actually currently the leader. Enemy has been spotted near Paris. Hardly a surprise. Yep, it's you over here. We do have this archer now. Can't actually reach that guy because if we move out of the city, we'll be crossing a river and we'll also be into forests. But we need to move out of the city. No, we don't need to move out of the city to create a settler. So we're going to leave you there for the time being. We are going to start work on our settler because we need our second city. Can we speed up the growth of that settler? There's no point worrying about the food too much because we're going to stagnate anyway. So currently it would be 12 turns. Could we get any more? Yeah, keep that one locked in. Could we just get some more production somewhere else? 11 turns. Those are all of our production tiles. So 11 turns is the quickest we could get it. Well, we're going to have to try. Unit needs orders. Let's keep scouting around with the scout. It's what he's there for. So annoyed that I lost that unit, but not an awful lot that I can do. Let's get all these embassies. Wow, Morocco's actually quite far away. Great library's been built. Well, I didn't expect to get that. Let's go on to the next turn. Let's actually just keep our eye on this unit and see what he's doing. He's skirting around the outside there. Not too sure why, but we will leave our archer in the city for now. There we go. The silver mine's actually completed. I may decide to go ahead and buy a unit just for some protection later on. It might not be the worst idea. But I think for the time being, we are relatively safe. You guys have finished that. Okay, now I am worried. How much would it cost me to purchase a warrior? 200 gold. Don't have anywhere near enough anyway at the moment. I'm just got to be very, very careful of these archers. I'm going to move out of the city just so we can potentially attack them on the next turn. Yes, I know that they can attack me, but I am in friendly territory, which means I heal faster. I'd like to be able to get these guys to come and do something useful. The problem that we've got right now is I've been moving towards barbarians, pretty much whichever direction I went in. So I'm going to start moving them back towards the city just so that I can put them somewhere safe if I need to. I'll probably take a round of arrows from these archers. Yeah, that's not surprising, but at least it means on this turn they hadn't actually moved closer to my workers, which is nice. We could return fire. They are on a hill, so we'd pretty much just be playing tit for tat at this point. So what I'm actually going to do is just move them back into the city. You guys are going to work your way around over here. There is that barbarian there. He could actually reach us on this turn, actually. I shouldn't have gone in there now because he can move into the open and then he can grab us on the next turn. At least we can kill him off quite easily, but still, that was a bit of a derp. Let's start moving our scout over in this direction. Oh, look, another barbarian camp. It's going to be one of those games, folks. It's just we are going to be beaten by the barbarians. He's going to come and get the worker. It was guaranteed. However, it'll be easy to get the worker back. Let's go and have a bit of a look up here. Yeah, as I said, it'll be easy to get the worker back because we can just use the city to kill off the brute, the warrior, and then we can move our archer onto the tile and recover the worker. So, not the end of the world. It was a little bit of a derp there, but at least we managed to recover it okay. Right, now you guys you've pillaged my farm, which is real good of you, but at least now you've actually moved close enough for me to be able to do some damage to you. Definitely no question now about what my workers are going to be doing next. We'll move the worker into the city so it can go across there on the next turn. And let's keep having a look to see what we can see. Chances are all of the ancient ruins are going to be gone by now anyway. The AI is quite proficient with its scouts at finding them all quite quickly. There we go, we've discovered masonry. Let's keep looking over in this direction. We found some ivory. Looks like we found the north coast possibly as well. We'll take another shot at you guys. We will take another shot at you guys and finish you off. And we will move the worker onto this tile. You can fix that on the next turn. Bit of a pain that we have to do that, but never mind. Let's go ahead and get calendar then, just so that we can get the citrus on the following turn. Well, the following time we have a worker free. We are going to have to go and get another worker at some point as well. May adopt a policy. So what are we going to take? Do we want the 10% growth and the extra food, or do we want the +1 gold and the unhappiness reduction? I think we're going to be okay on happiness for a while. Simply because we've got another luxury that we haven't connected up yet. Would be nice to get the extra gold because we're not making a huge amount. But saying that, getting the growth is going to be really useful for us. So let's go ahead and pick that up first. You guys are going to repair that farm. A little bit of a shame that happened. You guys can move in there and we will heal you up. We may need to use that archer to actually escort the settler. Another barbarian camp. That looks very much like Russia's borders, and Russia has an awful lot of units. Looks like they're quite far away from anybody as well. So getting them to fight somebody might be slightly problematic. We'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully she stays friendly. But yeah, she has a lot of units around there. Now, one thing that is going to be important for us to do is to actually try and get the AI to fight each other. But it's going to be difficult if they're too far away. But we'll see how it goes. Let's heal up our archer. Let's go on to the next turn. 2 turns away from getting that settler. She does want embassy, which is, I suppose, a good sign. They're still doing their best to deal with that barbarian camp. I should have stayed nearby, really. I could have potentially ninja'd it, but there again, I could have just as easily have lost my scout, so it's probably a good job that I didn't. Yep, you want embassy? We'll go for that. Right, you guys have finished that. Go over there and construct a quarry. Unit needs orders. What are we going to do with you? Well, Russia's got at least 3 cities already. I think we'll start heading back across the east across the north coast on the next turn. Obviously, some of the bigger players like Hiawatha and Catherine are on opposite sides of the map, which doesn't help things an awful lot. But we will see what we can do. Maybe once Japan get a little bit bigger, we can get them to try and declare on Catherine. It's possible. No point doing it just now. We're not going to benefit anything from doing that at all. And would you look at that, there are some spearmen around. We are going to have to go down here at some point and deal with that barbarian camp, because it's just going to prove to be too problematic. We don't want to work the production tiles right now. We want to be working the food tiles wherever we can. As important as production is, we need the city to grow. Although we would still be growing if we did that. We'd get some production and we'd get some gold, which is going to be important. So I think that's what we are going to do. We also need to build something here as well. Potentially the library. In fact, no, we need to get another warrior out. We're going to get behind in tech, but, you know, we do need to sort of get to safety here. I'm very tempted not to try and move that settler out until we've dealt with this spearman. We've still got the space that we wanted to go and settle in. And, yeah, I think we're just going to stay in the city for now. Right, we're going to move the worker, because you're going to go there anyway to build a quarry. And you're going to do nothing for this turn. So let's see if that spearman comes closer to us. Probably will. And indeed it does. Probably going to pillage the farm again, which is going to be a nightmare. But we will do as much damage to them as we can. Yeah, they're most likely going to pillage that farm on this turn, which there's nothing I can do about it, so no point worrying about it, really. We'll just have to go and repair it again. Settler, you're definitely not leaving the city as things stand. Workers should be safe. They can't really get to the worker zone of control, hills, river crossing, so we should be good there. Yeah, as expected, they pillaged the farm. Did get a unit promotion here. We're going to give them accuracy. Extra damage in open terrain. That is open terrain. They're not going to be able to reach the silver mine, so they can't pillage that on this turn. Or on the next turn. We've got a hand axe there. Let's just move up onto the hillside. We might be able to finish it off if we need to. Settler again, you're going to do nothing for this turn. But we are now at the 20-minute mark, so I think I'm going to leave it there. A little bit disappointed I didn't get my second city founded yet. We've had a few derps so far at the beginning of this playthrough, but at least it's not as stupid as that war that I started on the last game that I played. So we'll see how things go. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you are still enjoying Civilization 5 as France, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, goodbye for now.